Hey guys, so as the adage goes, don't get into watches. Watches are such a deep hole; it's just insane. If anybody's into cars or knives, I'm sure a lot of you guys are into knives if you watch this channel. Um, any of that stuff, and you've had any experience with watches, you will know what I'm talking about. Watches are just it's just crazy. Um, here on the table, I have a Seiko dive watch. I don't know if it's an SKX. I don't know their models too well. You can put it in the comments if you know. This is a special edition. It's a Save the Turtles edition. You can see on the dial there, it sort of has like a teal color, and it sort of looks like a turtle shell, and then it fades to black. So it's pretty neat. Um, this is a Rolex Explorer 2 with the white dial. This is a 2022 model. I just got this one a few days ago, so I'm really excited to have this one. And I'll talk about each of these in more depth. And this is an Apple Watch Ultra. I think it's still on. Yeah, it's just locked. That I just got a few weeks ago. It has a little bit different purpose than these other ones, but you can see by what I have on the table, I'm not just an Apple Watch person. Really, these days, you only need a phone. But, if you want a lot of the functionality of a phone on your wrist, these Apple Watches are great. Like this will do fitness stuff. It'll keep track of, like, if you're working out, it'll keep track of your heart rate, the time that you worked out, all that stuff. It'll do, let's see if I can unlock it. Sometimes it doesn't like it if I'm not wearing it. Let me. So you can see here, it has all these different apps you can get into. This one is hooked up to our cellular plan, so you can do, yeah, see, it just keeps locking. But you can do like phone calls and text messages and stuff like that when you're away from Wi-Fi and away from your phone, which is nice. So that was one of the big reasons I got it, because I don't like to carry my phone all the time. It's an iPhone 12. It's not even the max, but it's still pretty bulky to me. So I wanted to have this watch to make it so that I didn't have to carry my phone as much, which is sort of a double benefit, because not only do I not have to carry it and have that bulk in my pocket, I also don't have it and it keeps me from like scrolling the internet or Facebook or Instagram, because the watch, at least as far as I know, you can't like Instagram and Facebook, you can't get those on a watch. Or if I'm wrong, I don't know, just don't tell me, because I'm appreciating the fact that I stay away from those by having the watch. So anyway, yeah, these are the three that I currently have, and I was actually pretty well out of watches, I don't know, a year ago. I actually had a Rolex Yachtmaster that I had bought 3 years ago now. I sold that to buy my wife's engagement ring. I also had an Omega Seamaster that I sold to buy a Strider Custom. This was really the time period when I was getting out of watches and getting really more into knives slash more important stuff like an engagement ring. And then I don't know exactly what happened, because I'd gotten away from the YouTube videos, or the YouTube channels that talk about watches. But I just really got the itch to get another watch, and she bought me this Seiko around 10 months ago now, 9-10 months, and I actually saw it in a jewelry store, and I was thinking about selling my Omega to buy this and then use the rest of the money for a knife or something. And before I did that, she actually went and bought that for me for a gift, which was really nice. So the Seiko has, obviously has some sentimental value to me, and I've worn it the most out of these three. So yeah, she got that one for me around 9 months ago now, and I like it a lot. a stainless steel band, and it also came with a rubber green band that matches the dial. It's a little more green, I guess. This is kind of teal. But yeah, I like this stainless steel band. I think it's more comfortable. I'm not a big fan of rubber bands, but they're easily swapped out, and I'll probably use the rubber band at times. So I got the Seiko, and that was sort of intended to be my last and only watch. I mean, it's, you know, really functional. It has the unidirectional bezel, because it is a dive watch. It has the day and the date, which is nice. I like that a lot. It is an automatic, which is also nice. I tend to prefer those because then I don't have to worry about batteries replacing those. Although automatics aren't as accurate as quartz watches. And I just really like the look of it. I also like the fact that it's a dive watch, so it has this extra security. It's like a security clasp. So here you close this up, and then these two little, I don't know, tabs sort of lock, and then this guy folds over and also locks. So it's not coming off your wrist unless one of the links fails or something. So I really like this watch. It is a little bit heavy. You can see here, it's pretty thick. But I also like the fact that the crystal, which is a sapphire crystal, is set down into the face. The bezel sort of acts as a guard for the crystal. So you can see there, this is proud of the crystal, which, you know, again, provides some protection for it, which is nice. So yeah, I had that one, and then I don't know what happened. I guess I was sort of thinking about, you know, the whole phone thing that I mentioned and not having to carry my phone. And so when I sit at home, I browse the internet and do all that stuff I talked about, and I just wanted to get away from that. I didn't want to feel like I was tied to my phone. So that's where the Apple Watch came in. I wanted to get the Ultra because it has the crown guard. This case is titanium, which is nice. It kind of makes it a little bit lighter. It also has a sapphire crystal, which is nice. Very, very resistant to scratches and you know, other damage. And the battery life is awesome on the Ultra, so I wanted to get that. So this one I actually added to our Verizon plan, and I can hook to it through our cellular, so I don't need my phone. And I think I mentioned that, but I don't need my phone at all, which is great, unless I need to do, like, I don't know, Facebook, stuff like that. This won't do certain things, which is nice. So yeah, I got the Apple Watch maybe a month ago now, and I tend to wear it around the house. So it has this, this is like the, I don't know, Explorer edition or whatever. So it has this like orange band. I don't know if this is nylon or what it is. But it's really nice. I mean, it's light enough, and, you know, again, I can wear it around the house and respond to texts, and I get work messages and stuff on there that I can read, and emails. So it's enough, but it keeps me away from my phone, which is the most important thing. I will wear this one some when I'm out, especially if I don't want to take my phone, but I predominantly wear the Seiko until the Rolex came into the picture. So I don't know if you guys know who I am on Facebook. If you do, great. If not, I don't know, you'll find out. But I had a big knife purge around a month ago now, week before Thanksgiving, I think it was, because I had the Yachtmaster about a year and a half ago, and I just got the itch to get another Rolex. The Seiko is great, and it has a lot of sentimental value, but I just wanted another Rolex. The brand is so iconic, and they're very usable. Like, they're very sturdy. So this one, you can see is still pretty thick. And like the Seiko, it is an automatic movement. It has the safety clasp like the Seiko. So this little guy opens up, and then that opens up there. It doesn't have the two tabs on either side, but yeah, so you close this up, and then this clicks into place, and then this will snap closed. yeah, they're just super practical, usable. Um, and again, they're just so iconic. And it was really like a grail watch for me. So I had the Yachtmaster before, which I sort of was drawn to because of the blue dial. But in reality, I appreciate the Explorer 2 more. Um, I like the white dial with the orange hand a lot. The orange hand is essentially a 24-hour hand. So right now I have it set for local time, which is Indiana time, which is the same as what the black hands show. But the way that you read it is 16 is essentially 4 o'clock. So you have 12 noon plus 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So you just add 4 to the 12 and you get 16 if you didn't know how to read 24-hour time. And then you reference the minute hand the same as you do with the normal hour hand, which has the 3, I don't know, like Mercedes symbol. So yeah, it's 4, or excuse me, it's not quite to the 16, so it's 3:54 right now. But you can use that as a GMT function as well. So like if I went to, I don't know, England or something, I could set the 24-hour hand to be, or I could keep that as local time, home time in Indiana, and I could set I'll just call it the Mercedes dial. I could set the Mercedes dial or the Mercedes hour hand as local UK time. So it's kind of cool because you can keep 2 different time zones on your wrist. The Yachtmaster didn't have that, but I'd say probably more so the reason why I like this one better than the Yachtmaster is it's a little more understated. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Yachtmaster, the bezel, which here, this is just engraved and then it has the numbers there. This bezel is just machined, so it's just stainless steel, and it's fixed, so you can't rotate it. The bezel on the Yachtmaster was bi-directional, so it could rotate like the Seiko, except it could rotate both ways. So this one will only rotate counterclockwise. The Rolex that I had before would go either direction, but it was also made out of platinum, which is, shoot, I like to line that up. Platinum is a great material, but it adds a lot of cost to a watch that's already expensive, and I'm just not into that really at all. Rolex does a lot of watches with rose gold and yellow gold and white gold, and I don't care about any of that. I don't want to pay extra for that. And this one is all stainless steel. It does have a sapphire crystal, but the whole thing is stainless steel. It's not really fancy, which is nice. It's very understated. Again, I like the white dial and the orange 24-hour hand. I really like the date function with the Cyclops eye, so you can see it there. This is waterproof to 300 meters. Rolex is one of the only companies, if not the only one, that will claim waterproofness. Most every other time you'll see water resistant to, I don't know, 300 meters or whatever. These are claimed to be waterproof with the Oyster case. And then these are actually certified to a standard that's above the Swiss standard. I think it's COSC. So these are certified to the superlative chronometer standard, which is an in-house Rolex standard. And it's above and beyond what the Swiss standard tests for. So like this one's accurate it holds time to, I think it's like plus or minus 2 seconds a day maybe. Whereas the Swiss standard is a little bit wider than that. And then just other criteria, this exceeds what the Swiss standard requires. So that's really cool. It's just really practical. It's not loud. Yeah, I mean, people do see Rolex and they're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you must be somebody important and all this stuff. But when you get past that, they're really usable watches. The Yachtmaster I had before was a very usable watch. Um, they're very tough. The only thing about this one I'm a little concerned about is if you look, oops, the sapphire is actually above the bezel. So, you know, it's not as well protected as it was on the, I think the Yachtmaster, it was below the bezel. Or especially as well as something like this Seiko where it's well below the bezel. So I'm a little concerned about that, like knocking on something. But I tend to be pretty careful, and I'm not going to wear it if I'm like, I don't know, playing golf or doing something active. So yeah, it's just a great watch. This is also an automatic. Um, you can see how the hand just sort of sweeps around the dial, the seconds hand. And yeah, I mean, this is the Explorer. It's meant to be tough. It's meant to be used in extreme conditions, and I like that a lot. Am I going to use it in extreme conditions? Probably not, but it's just, I don't know. It was just a Grail watch, and the process of getting it, excuse me, the process of getting any Rolex is interesting. So right now, if you guys don't know, demand for Rolexes far exceeds supply. So if you want one, you sort of have to build a relationship with a dealer that's closest to you. They actually work within a radius of their location, and you have to build a relationship, which means you go in, you know, you kind of get to know them, you check out some watches, introduce yourself, and tell them which ones you're looking for, and then they'll put you on a list, and eventually when one comes in, they'll say, hey, do you want this watch? If you don't want it, they'll pass it on to the next person who will either say yes or no, and then it just sort of repeats from there until somebody takes it. So yeah, it's sort of an interesting process, and some people kind of balk at it and they're like, oh, you know, it sucks that I can't just go in and buy one and all this stuff. And, you know, dealers can, I don't know, cherry pick people they want to give watches to, and it's shady practice and all this stuff, which there are dealers that can be that way. There are dealers who can be shady in some ways. I don't know, in terms of just trying to make more profit, things like that. But the one that I work with, at least in my experience, they've been pretty straight up about stuff. They seem very fair. And yeah, so I told them that I wanted either this watch or a Milgauss, and those were the two that I was specifically looking for. I said that I was not willing to pay secondary prices because these on the secondary market are about, if you find a new one, like new in box with all the paperwork and stuff, they're probably 30 to 40% higher than just buying one at retail. So yeah, you don't want to pay secondary prices. I was not willing to. It's stupid. I said, I'll wait as long as I need to. Just let me know when something comes in. So this was, I don't know, a month ago after I'd sold all my knives. And I expected, because he told me, the guy that I work with, he said probably Q1 of next year is likely when it would come in. So I was like, all right, probably February, March. And then he texts me, or I text him and I say, hey, I'm going to be in the area. You know, I'll stop by and say hey and stuff like that. And he's like, hey, I have an Explorer 2 with a white dial. Do you want it? And I'm like, is it new? And he's like, yeah, brand new. Yeah, so I was like, heck yeah, I want it. Put my name on it. So yeah, I actually went and picked this up on, let's see, today's Thursday, Monday, because I had to take our car over for a service in the same area. So yeah, it's a cool experience. I think it's kind of neat the way the whole AD thing works, the dealer thing, and building a relationship and all that. As long as it's not shady, which, you know, again, some of them can be, but I think it's okay. I don't know, I've bought 3 watches from them, 2 of them being Rolex, and I've never had an issue getting one. So yeah, if you ever want to look at one, yeah, they're expensive, but if you've bought knives for long enough, you know those can be expensive too. And if you've accumulated enough of those, you also know that you can probably sell a lot of them and buy something like a Rolex. So anyway, this video is getting kind of long, but the gist is, don't get into watches, but if you do, you're going to have a great time, and there's a great community just like there is with knives. There's a huge Rolex group on Facebook. It's like 125,000 people. Great community. I haven't really seen too much shaming on there. Like, you know, if you just have a normal stainless steel versus a rose gold model, whatever, people don't seem to shame too badly, which is nice. So yeah, if you decide to get into them, just know you'll probably want more. These are my 3 currently. The Seiko and the Rolex sort of get split time, and then the Apple Watch gets worn mostly at home, occasionally when I go out if I don't want to take my phone. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'll do individual videos on these or not. This one's kind of a pain because it's, I don't know, it likes to be worn when you play with it. So, but yeah, so this is the Apple Watch Ultra. This is the Rolex Explorer 2 2022. I don't know what the reference number is, but you can Google it. And this is the Seiko, I think SKX Special Edition, Save the Turtles dive watch. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of long, but I wanted to talk about all these. And have yourselves a great rest of the day. And we'll talk to you on the next one. We'll see you.